Dah, Meling, dah set ke belum?
Sikit je lagi, Puan. Apa menu kita hari ni? Semua menu sihat. Ikan bakar, sup ayam, sayur-sayuran. Banyaklah. Puan, banyaknya guna minyak. Bahayakan kesihatan lah.
Betul lah macam ni. Saya dah kurangkan separuh dari biasa ni.
Cuba rasa ni. Sedap tak?
Biar kurang masin, jangan lebih.
Betul tu. Kita kena kurangkan minyak, gula,
Garam dan santan dalam masakan. Barulah ramai pelanggan datang ke kedai kita.
Semuanya
sihat belaka.
Alright, welcome folks to yet another edition of Thursdays. Hello on 2 together with us.
Of course, my name is Sophia. Together with me is my very, very handsome Stephen. Before we begin,
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Stephen. Happy birthday. We are very happy to have you here. Though it's your birthday day, not exactly today, but it was yesterday. But hey, the birthday boy is with us today.
Thank you. Duty calls, right?
Right. Of course, basically, we're going to give you the latest update for the MH370 crash. Basically, for today's update, the storms threaten surge after new debris sightings. Basically, from Perth, the thunderstorms and gale force winds threaten to impede a frantic international search Thursday for the wreckage from flight MH370 after the satellite actually located 100 floating objects, which actually sparked a few hopes throughout the breakthrough. And Malaysia actually said that the imagery taken in the recent days by the French satellite showed 122 potential objects in the remote southern Indian Ocean, although nothing has yet to be pulled from the treacherous sea, despite a multinational recovery operation.
That's right. All eyes on the Indian Ocean right now.
That's right.
Even more sad is the fact that all eyes are also on the pilot itself, Captain Zari. That's the saddest part, right? The latest update is this: FBI has already released statements that they are hours away from getting a breakthrough from the
analysis.
missing files.
That's right, missing computer files.
This is what happened, right? They actually got the evidence of the simulator, flight simulator, in the home of the captain. And we're saying this, look, he actually deleted some of the data apparently, and of course FBI offered to help to retrieve the missing data, deleted data. Apparently they have the technology to actually retrieve deleted files.
That's right.
Yeah, that's why the evidence is with them right now. So they're hours away from releasing or getting a breakthrough in the piece of evidence.
That's right. The Malaysian police actually removed the simulator from Captain Zahri Ahmad Shah's home nearly 2 weeks ago after the investigators said that they believed the Boeing 777 had been deliberately diverted from its intended route by someone on board. So basically, we're just a few hours away from getting the analysis from the FBI side in this investigation. And let's see if we can get more information on this.
Of course, the Royal Malaysian Air Force did not intercept the flight MH370 when it turned back because it's just assumed, right? Because it's a civilian plane, it's just assumed that it's been ordered by the air traffic control.
Yes. And of course, our deepest condolences, our hearts and prayers goes to the family of our very own late, very famous 80s comedian, Dato' Ali Mamat, or also known as Mr. Osman Jantan, who passed away last night at 4:20 a.m. This is due to cancer, the cancer that he's facing, which is already at stage 2.
Yeah, exactly. This is very sad because I know this person personally as well. He's been on the show Selamat Pagi Malaysia for several times when I was hosting it. And not only that, I also had the opportunity to sit on the VIP river cruise boat in Malacca, the river cruise.
Yes.
But there's an option to upgrade to the VIP river cruise, whereby in the VIP version of it, it has Dato' Ali Mamat singing on
Amazing.
board the
Amazing.
cruise itself. So it's really, really sad. He's been around for 25 years.
That's right.
As in doing arts, in the world of arts, acting, singing, entertaining the whole of Malaysia, thus earning himself the title Dato'.
The Dato' will always be remembered by all of us Malaysians. And of course,
Great entertainer.
Great entertainer, been in the industry for 25 years, as well as receiving an award as the title actually as the Darjah Seri Melaka by the state government of Malacca in year 2008.
That's right, conferring him with the title of Dato', right? But once again, our condolences to the families of Dato' Ali Mama.
That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For the great years.
Thank you very much.
And of course, Sophia, you were at the red carpet and you were doing this whole program on Laureus World Sports Awards, right? And of course,
Yes.
RTM is the official broadcaster.
Indeed.
So tell us what happened last night.
Indeed, it was such a great honor for all of us at RTM to actually receive the title as the official broadcaster. And yesterday was the ultimate event, basically. It's basically the 15th year of the Laureus World Sports Award. It's happening first. It happened first time in Southeast Asia, especially in Malaysia. And I have to say, I was really starstruck. Basically, we've managed to see this world-class
stars,
athletes right in front of us, and
Okay.
yes, amazing.
Any memorable moments?
Memorable moments, I guess the moment I saw Benedict Cumberbatch. It's probably one of the happiest moments that I have to
He
see.
must have stood beside you and
Not exactly.
take a picture.
He stood
right?
next to Terence, by the way.
You
But
must
yeah,
be so
happy for you, Terence.
envious of that.
And later on, we're going to give you a little bit of highlight because there are some of the titles that have been won by these very, very renowned world athletes. And we're going to show to you, in case you missed it last night, who actually won all these amazing titles.
Yep, I hope these stars that came from all around the world, do not go back so soon. They should take some time to enjoy the tourism stuffs that's available right here in Malaysia. Things that makes us proud, the food, the people, the friendly people.
That's right.
And the places of attractions instead of, especially in such times where media is painting a bad light in Malaysia. Yeah, hopefully these folks, the superstars can be ambassador when they go back to their own countries.
That's
and
right.
continue with their sports.
We are still indeed in a very difficult time, but stay positive, be thankful for everything that we have right now, and stay united. Of course, right now we're going to take a short little break. When we come back, we're going to speak more about the next topic over MH370, all eyes narrow
That's
to
right.
Indian Ocean.
This one's going to be interesting, folks, because we have a long list of questions,
Yes.
some technical questions as well. And those of you wondering why this, why that, and all that, we will try to, uncover some of the questions and answers to it in this next segment. So
That's right.
stick around.
Deep sadness and regret that I must inform you that according to this new data, flight MH370 ended in the southern Indian Ocean.
My heart goes to the families and parents who are involved in the MH370. Condolences to the family, and just be strong with all. It is not easy, and yeah, hope all of you guys can go through it.
It's my condolence about the MH370. So I just heard about the news about I heard it's crash at Indian Ocean something. Yeah, so like it's my condolence to all the families. So yeah, we will non-stop praying with MH370 to all the families members and so.
To all the families that have from passengers and the crew on MH370, my heartfelt condolences to all of you. And I know it's been such a difficult time, and you know, it's really a sad moment. And we're all Malaysians, and myself are all there with our hearts and our thoughts for you.
I know we've been struck with the bad news of MH370, and I would like to express my condolences to all the families. I know it's tough, but we Malaysians stay strong and we pray for each other, and we always hope for the best for the families of MH370.
I'm very sad with what had happened, and I hope in future this will not happen again. It was a sad thing that so many of them has just gone. And we didn't know up to the 18th day, and some were hoping that they were alive, but on the second day I was confident that we cannot find back the airplane. So it was very sad. At least keep your spirits up. You should know you struggle in life. That's part of life. This happens in our life, and we should fight till the last and try to just forget it or just ignore what has happened and keep on moving in our life. Thank you.
I'd like to offer my sincere condolences to the families and friends of all the people who lost their lives on MH370, and I hope that they find the peace to move on and recover.
And I'd like to offer my condolences and support to the friends, family of the crew and the passengers on flight MH370.
And I'd like to send all my condolences to all the family members and friends and everyone who knew anyone who was on board on MH370. As well as a fellow Malaysian, this is an extreme tragedy, and it's something that we won't be forgetting in a long time, and I hope everyone has the strength to move on.
On behalf of my team and myself, our hearts and our prayers go out to the families of the passengers and crew of MH370. I just want them to know at this moment of grief, we are with all of you.
Welcome back. So that were some of the heartfelt wishes from our very own Malaysians, and of course our friends who came over to Malaysia this week to celebrate the Laureus World Sports Award. But all the wishes are all meant for the families and everyone who's affected by this incident of MH370. Exactly. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, as we mentioned earlier on, we're going to talk more about MH370 as well. All eyes narrowed to the Indian Ocean. And with this, we've got our experts on the show with us. We've got Dr. Mohd Ikhwan Hadi bin Yaacob, the Senior Lecturer at the Department of Physics at UPSI. And of course, remarkable journalist next to me, Mr. Izzat Zalman. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show. Now, thank you for your time, right, and for your willingness to come and share with us and shed some light a little bit more about the technological aspect, and also another hot issue, the media side of it, which we will unpeel in this whole long segment, right, folks? First of all, let's start with the Professor Doctor, right? Maybe you can share with us a little bit about your personal and professional view, because there's lots of talk about sonar technology. Yeah. How can this sonar technology be able to help, or will it be useful in this?
First of all, I would like to express my deepest condolences to all the family members. It is in fact a very tragic tragedy, not only for Malaysia, but for the whole technical community and aviation industry as well. So it is very difficult for us to explain actually technically. But answering your question, in fact, sonar can only be helpful when we determine or we narrow down the location of or the crash site of the location. So from a large perspective, sonar can be a very little helpful. because the nature of the working principle of the sonar is not for a large to cover a large area.
Okay.
So meaning that's why we can look at, for the past 3 weeks, the search and rescue team are focusing on the use of aircraft, the use of big vessels, because they are actually focusing on to cover as much area as possible to locate the debris. And once the location, the exact location, at least the smaller perimeter was determined, then the sonar could be very useful. So that might be answering why they are not using sonar at first, because the sonar itself require a lot of, it is a time-consuming process actually.
Okay.
The vessel that use sonar technology cannot move as fast as 7 kilometers per hour. So we can imagine that how can we cover 1,000 square kilometers by the vessel is just moving 5 kilometers per hour. So it is quite challenging for sonar.
I see.
Sonar can only be useful when we narrow down the search area.
Right, Doctor, that was like a brief overview of how sonar actually works. But maybe you can share with us what is the technology behind sonar exactly?
Okay. That requires a lot of time actually, but I will make it short.
Crash course.
So sonar is actually the acronym for sound, for navigation and ranging.
Right.
So sound for navigation and ranging.
SONAR.
SONAR, sonar. So that's why we call it sonar. So sonar can be divided into 2 types of sonar. First, active sonar, and the second one is a passive sonar. So the active sonar is actually used for ocean mapping, to search for fish, to search for vessel, to map the bottom of the ocean. That's where we use the active sonar. So here we have the example of the active sonar.
Okay.
But from a narrow perspective of MH370 tragedy, both active and passive sonar will be useful. So passive sonar will be used and will be utilized when we want to locate the black boxes.
I see.
And the flight recorder. So talking about the black boxes it's actually a boxes. We are looking for 2 boxes. First, the voice cockpit recorder, VCR. And another one is, we call it a flight data recorder, FDR. So we are actually looking for two boxes. So here, when we are talking about the active sonar, the first equipment that you need is a pulsar. Pulsar. So in active sonar, we actually generate the pulse. We generate the pulse, and the transducer, the sensor, will detect the echo. The echo. So from the information contained in the echo, we can further process the data, whether to determine the bottom of the ocean is sand, is it a rock, or is it a steel or something in the middle of it.
Okay.
So just to demonstrate. Here, this is what we call it the sonar ping. So here is the sonar ping.
Okay.
Okay.
That's the signal being sent.
Yes, that's the signal being sent. When we put it, we can detect another signal.
I see.
Just a few at a certain distance.
Yeah.
That is the bottom of this container.
Oh, so that tells you the distance.
Yes, that tells us the distance and the depth.
I see.
So when the vessel is moving, if it detects something in the middle, now you can see that there's another signal in between that. That's what we call object detection. That's how we locate the object. So the idea is that why sonar cannot be used to cover a large area is that because when the vessel is moving very fast, we will miss the signal. That's why the vessel needs to move at a very slow speed, between 1 to 4 knots, or approximately 2 to 7 kilometers per hour only.
I see.
Or else it will just miss it, right?
We will miss it.
So it will be at the bottom of the vessel, going along, detecting what's directly underneath.
Correct.
I see.
To add more challenges, the southern part of Indian Ocean have a tidal wave as high as 5 meters.
It's very treacherous.
So the vessel will be floating around up and down, left and right. So we can imagine how difficult to interpret the sonar signals.
Now, one more regarding this technology before we move into the media aspect of it, right? Now, will this sonar technology actually assist in the bathymetry 3D mapping of the location survey.
Yes, it will indeed very helpful. But as I said earlier, we are actually racing against time, and in order to map every little detail on the bottom of the ocean, we need a lot of time. For example, if we want to map the area of 100 kilometers square, at least 2 months is required.
2 months.
By using existing sonar technology. That's for the 2,000 meters of ocean depth. So we can imagine the deepest part of the Indian Ocean is around 7,000 meters. So it requires a lot more times. That's why the focus of search and rescue right now is to narrow down the search area so that we can utilize sonar. But to answer the question, yes, the bathymetry bottom profiling will be very useful after we narrow down the search area.
Right.
Perfect.
Of course, right now, aside from having all of our eyes towards the Indian Ocean, and of course now Malaysia is in the eyes of every part of the world at this moment, and we've received many media coverages, which some are quite hostile, should I say it. So, tell us, what is your overview of the media coverage over the MH370, in your opinion?
Okay, speaking on the basis of a media person, I would say that from March 8 onwards until today, the media has been very progressive in terms of reporting. It has, we have got daily coverage from day one on March 8, 10 a.m. itself from the first press conference.
That's right.
It has built up tremendously. I think the momentum has built up from just the local media, from just the countries affected, to CNN, to major channels like CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera, etc. So it is quite interesting actually to see that the media coverage. But what is interesting to note is the tone of the reporting that has been brought on the crisis itself.
Yes.
It is quite unfortunate or fortunate that actually some of the media representatives has given us tremendously negative tones, i.e. like, if I can mention CNN and BBC, yes, they are very, very established kind of news channels, but unfortunately the way that they've reported us, to me, to a certain extent, is quite unethical. But I don't know, for Malaysians, we tend to see that this Western media is the media. So that's a little challenging for the local media
I get
itself.
what you mean.
Yes.
I get what you're saying. But tell us more about ethical reporting, right? You know, versus like the right for people to know.
Ethical is something that is a baseline for all journalists. Whenever we go out to the field, all journalists would go on the principles of the 5 Ws and 1 H, or in simpler words, if you want to say it, is 5 wives and 1 husband. So that's the basis that normally we go out in search for our stories, etc. But we're coming back to MH370, we're talking about a crisis here. And what's most important here is that I think our Malaysian journalists, the School of Journalism in most of our institutions of higher learning, they have instilled in them the ethical values at a very high level. So they do certainly practice that. Number one is, what is the issue? The first W. What is the issue, and how is it going to be addressed about? So that should be the main idea. Instead of spinning around, I think most of, if we observe daily coverages, the press conferences are covered live over most of our TV stations from day one, from March 8. Not only TV stations, but also our radio stations cover it live. And it's not just the statement being read out, it is also the Q&A. So you could actually, Malaysians out there, you should evaluate how Malaysian journalists actually ask questions in comparison to the counterparts from abroad. They are very provocative, yes, but unfortunately the manner of the questions, what are they actually targeting?
Yes.
Are they targeting on our national aspect, or are they targeting on finding out what is the real reason, what actually happened to MH370? If you browse through most of the reports, be it broadcast or even online, most of it will be, what happened to MH30, but then comes up all the theoretical aspects. They come up with, the pilot has got hijacked, etc., etc. All this didn't start from Malaysia.
Yes.
I don't think this reporting kind of thing came from Malaysian journalists. It all started from the West, quoting sources, etc., quoting here, quoting there, etc. And it comes back to Malaysia because we are living in a globalized world. A news feed, live feed comes in through the second. As you speak, it's going up there into air, it's going up into the World Wide Web, etc. So it's a speed of lightning. And people in Malaysia, I really call out to Malaysians, please believe our national news agency or bernama or even RTM, because we are the national news broadcaster. There are procedures that we have got to adhere to when we disseminate information. That has been totally held on by what do you call this? Our minister when he speaks also, that all information has got to be verified.
Right. So is that on top of that, basically the news we've seen it's been sensationalized, it's been aggravated beyond control at this point of time whenever we see how the foreign medias are covering us. And some also are questioning the media openness, as in like the rights for the media to actually ask questions. This is brought up by foreign media towards our very own government. And of course, they're in a way implementing, saying that our government is actually hiding the truth. So what is your opinion on that?
I wouldn't agree if it were to say that they are actually hiding the truth, because I mean, we all know, for us, we are like in the media perspective, like Dr. You're an academician. Every day people are watching day in and day out. The press conferences are live. And everything is, the press statements that are read out, most of it are technical. And you have got the frontliners, industry players are there opening up themselves to the questions from the press. And these are technical questions also. So I don't think there's any information that is being hidden. The real aspect, the key word that we need to realize here for Malaysians out there especially is that we need to get all this information verified. We need to really know whether whatever that is being found on the ocean, etc., is it real or etc. Like Doctor, he could have come up with this theory that the sonar technology can be used and it could be applied. But if it's not verified, there's no verification on the technology, it would be a wastage of money, a wastage of time, and also manpower. If you just simply disseminate it to the South China Sea, which is the first location that they actually mooted about the plane, MH370. Whereas now you realize that it's gone thousands of kilometers to the southern part in the Indian Ocean. So that's why verification is very, very important.
That's right.
Now just hold on, right? Let us take a call, because this topic is really generating some heat, right? So Mr. Rama is on the line right now. So Mr. Rama, good afternoon to you.
Hi, Mr. Rama.
Good afternoon to you all.
Hi,
First
Mr.
of all,
Rama.
let me extend my condolences to all those who are involved. Let them have a peaceful mind, and let those souls which are gone, let them be gone forever, and let them go to their next life, whichever you believe. And then regarding this sonar question just now, get my geography, if I'm not wrong in geography, I think there's a drop in temperature for every 300 feet when you go up. What happens when you go downward in sonar? When you go into the water?
Right.
Usually the pressure will change. And up to a certain limit, where everything can just burst up to nothing. So can you explain a little bit more on the technical side of this? But I heard only partly just now.
Okay. And Doctor, did you get the question?
Okay, I get it.
Get it. All right, cool.
I got it.
Thank you, Mr. Rama.
Thank you, Mr. Rama.
Thank you. Stay tuned for the answer.
So, talking about the technical aspect, especially what Mr. Rama requested is the effect of temperature. How much temperature affected the detection of the black box or detection of the wreckage. In fact, I didn't want to hide any fact, but in fact, it is a very hard for me to explain that the southern part of the Indian Ocean is very sophisticated layer of the ocean, because of it is the location where the cooler current met the warmer water. So at this point, there will be several layers of what we call it thermocline. So thermocline is a layer of different temperature that affect the acoustic propagation. So when we deploy a black box locator, actually, it might locate the ping from the black box but the ping is not actually came from what it's supposed to came.
Oh, fake ping.
Because of the distortion that exists from the thermocline.
The different layers.
The different layer. In fact, at 7,000 meters, the thermocline layer could be as much as 33 to 40 layers. So we can imagine that when the black box generate the series of beacon signal, acoustic signals, so it will be reflected, deflected several miles before it can be detected by the ping locator. So that will add more challenges to the search and rescue efforts using sonar.
I see.
Hope that answered your question, Mr. Rama. And yes, indeed, we cannot deny it. It's a very, very difficult operation to actually go through, especially with this technology.
That's right. Encik Izzat, a little bit more about the media, right? As we can see, as you mentioned, mainstream or rather traditional media. And one thing we haven't talked about is the new age media, social media, internet media. Lots and lots of different types of theories and all that. So, what's your take on this? New media versus traditional media?
I mean, we are living in a world in the 21st century. We are heading every day. The media is evolving, and now we are no longer talking about TV. We are no longer talking just about radio and television and papers.
Which is why we are losing our popularity.
Yeah, exactly. So you're having like pages going up on Facebook, which becoming more the focal point of information dissemination. I think I take my hats off to Malaysia Airlines and also Transport Ministry because they have fully utilized the Facebook and also Twitter because they have disseminated information, live feeds on their press releases and also developments on the MH370. But yeah, this what would I call like uncertified journalists, online journalists.
Good word.
Yeah. Okay, because I mean, personally, as if I were to browse into my personal Facebook, I would see that there are so many people talking about like they are journalists and having an entire story typed up about actually happened about 370.
That they have inside info.
Yes, exactly. If I can cite in BM, mak saya kata pakcik, saya kata nenek, saya kata saudara saya, jiran saya, etc., 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 and the list goes on. But then, do we realize by just clicking the share button, you are actually disseminating this information to the entire world because your friend list will have that share, and it's a domino effect. So we have to be self-trained to ourselves that when you're going to have out this kind of information, if you really want to be a journalist, by all means, anyone can write any story, anyone can do a journalist. You're living in a paperless world now, so you can't deny technology. But still, you have got to train yourself to be a little bit of ethic. You have to be courteous and you have got to have that ethical part of you instilled into yourself. For Malaysians, I think basically the young ones, I would say not the, basically it is the kids, the school kids and also teenagers where they feel anxiety over this incident. Not every day you see a plane crash. Malaysia Airlines has got a clean history from 1976, if I'm not mistaken, Tanjung Kupang, and the latest being now 2014, so it's over 3 decades. So over a span of that long, you're not going to see a Malaysian airline crash in front of your eye or something like that happening incidentally, God forbid. Okay, so I think it's because of this anxiety that teenagers tend to be a little bit more excited when they are reporting, etc. But this online media, I wouldn't say it's just FB and also Twitter, but also bloggers, because they tend to quote the foreign media and also they tend to swing off opinions from unnamed sources. So these unnamed sources are a main obstacle. That verification part again comes in where it's very, very vital, where you have got to have verified information. You can't just say that, okay, something is found there, like what happened. It said that MH370 actually landed safely in Nanning, but actually it didn't. It was missing and in the end it ended in the Indian Ocean.
Right. That is very, very insightful, and I actually agree with the Facebook journalists / warriors. Everyone is sharing
Uncertified.
it. Uncertified.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we end this session, maybe Doctor, you can have anything that you would like to convey, highlight to our fellow Malaysians who are watching this.
So I would like to highlight from a technical perspective.
Okay.
So in my humble opinion, I think there are still hopes. There are still hopes. Just let all these technical staff do their jobs. They need to follow the procedures. There are a lot of procedures to follow.
Yes.
There are a lot of technical aspects need to be considered. A lot of data coming in every day.
Yes.
They do 24 hours of job every day, and they are actually gambling their life at the southern part of the Indian Ocean.
True.
Yes.
We can see from several videos how the actual condition of the southern part of the Indian Ocean is. The deepest part of the South Indian Ocean is a very remote area. It is a very remote area, not only for shipping industries, but for us as a scientist, we rarely go there because of there are so many uncertainties there.
That's right.
But as a last word, I think I would like to recite an ayah from Surah Ali Imran. A'udzubillahi minasyaitonir rajim. Wa makaru wa makarallah wallahu khairul makirin. That means that they plan, we have planned, and God also has planned. And the God's plan is the best. As long as we stick to that, I think there are still hope.
Very
Beautiful.
inspiring.
Yeah.
Of course, is that a short one from you?
Yeah, my final say would that for the foreign press, for Malaysians out there, please, I really do beg you to actually trust our Malaysian media, because we are heading somewhere to be at par with our foreign press also. The foreign press, they are now hurting Malaysians. The Islamophobia post 9/11 is still there, and now I think they are belittling. Being a practicing Muslim myself, I feel that Islamophobia is now being churned up again by the Western media. So we need to be a little bit cautious, especially when it comes to our national issues like this. Malaysia Airlines is a national carrier. It is our pride. It is our hospitality, as in per the saying MH. So we have got to feel proud that our government is actually doing its best to address the issue, and we are not hiding anything. And if you are to spin issues out there, foreign journalists, please, and also the uncertified journalists, realize that you are being totally detrimental to the nation, diplomatically, economically, and we are in our Visit Malaysia year 2014. Please do not destroy the image of the country further.
Exactly. Thank you.
Please heed this experts' advices once again, ladies and gentlemen. Please, we do beg you to actually clarify and get to know what you're actually reading.
Resist the temptation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course, thank you so much, Dr. Mohd Ikhwan, and of course, Izzat for joining us today.
Thank you.
For shedding a light to
you.
all this situation right now.
And you know, as our guest mentioned, they don't think that anything's being hidden from us.
Yes.
So to all our friends and families out there who keeps coming to us, asking us for inside information, we don't have it.
We don't have
it. Right,
it.
Sophia?
Yeah, we don't.
We don't.
Just be sure to be wary of whatever you read. Do not trust everything that you read, and yes, be mindful of everything. Whatever that we're happening right now is quite saddening for all of us Malaysians. So once again, we're going to take a short little break, and we're going to come back very, very soon. We're going to talk about the ISN learning life values through sports. So don't go anywhere.
Still on. It's the 5 red lights. It's lights out, and away we go. Wheel-to-wheel racing. Now that's close.
The special part about this nail polish, of course, is that it's very easy to use, easy to apply, and quick drying. Only 60 seconds, and then you're done, no waiting time. And of course, the best part is that it peels off very easily. Usually with gel nail polish, you have to go to the salon and get it removed. You know, they file and look so scary. But this one, you just apply the remover and then you just peel it off. So easy. I think to me, the most important part is that it's a good quality one, because sometimes you buy a nail polish, it's very cheap, but then you put it on 1 day, 2 days, and it starts chipping and it's so horrible. So obviously quality is the first thing. To choose the Q-tags, well, as I said again, quality, you know, and you wouldn't know until you try. So you have to try a few until you find the one that is right for you and the one that stays on. And I think the most important part is the top coat, because if you got a good top coat, then your nail polish doesn't have to be that great, but your top coat will hold it together and keep your nails nice. So the top coat is the very important one. Hi everyone, do come by to Sephora and KLCC to the Strip Light Manicure station right here, because they are giving out free manicures and it's a really cool product, and I would recommend to anyone to try it out.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Yenny Lee from Hello On 2. So now we're gonna have our interview session exclusive for you with the #1 world squash player and has won the World Squash Championship for the record 7 times. So here with me, Dato' Nicole David. So before we move further details about the Laureus Awards, I'm gonna ask you, what's the main purpose and objective for the events today?
Well, basically, like at the moment, I've just been appointed as the ambassador for the Laureus Sport for Good Foundation, and to coincide with the Laureus Awards, we wanted to join forces with the Yayasan Rakyat One Malaysia to just be spreading the word and also trying to reach out to the kids and to encourage squash and sport in our nation.
So Kuala Lumpur is honored to have been given the privilege of hosting the Laureus Sports Awards. So how does it feel?
Oh, it's such a thrill to have this event. It's probably the biggest sporting event in the world, and to actually have Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur to host this is such a special moment for not just for me but for the whole country. And we really want to give a good show. All the top athletes, legends are all right here in Kuala Lumpur, and it is truly a dream come true to actually see all of them firsthand and to be part of it. And I am so grateful to be involved as well.
So recently you have become the Laureus ambassador, so share with us about this.
Yeah, I was really surprised to get to be accepted as an ambassador for the Laureus, and earlier this year I was just been announced, and I'm just so excited to actually play a role in reaching out to kids and to actually encourage more kids to play sport and to have sport bring the community together, not just in Malaysia but also what Laureus see fit for my role around the world.
Wow, so I think all of them out there want to know, what's the biggest challenge to maintain and to become the world #1 rankings for the sport?
Yeah, I think for me it's the main idea is to just love what I'm doing, and squash is my passion. I've always worked really hard to just continue to improve myself and to really get as much out of the game. Because it's such a challenging game, and I work really hard to make sure I'm always at the top, and but you know, that motivation to just want to do well all the time and to just aspire to be better in my full potential.
Okay. Lastly, your tips and some message to all the young players out there, the sportswomen and sportsmen.
Well, for all of you out there, just pick up a sport. Hopefully more squash players out there, and enjoy it. Bring your friends along, and make sure it's always fun and exciting for you to just get healthy and get involved with the sport. So go out there and just play, pick it up.
Yeah, that's the most important. Keep on, go for health, right? Yes. So thank you so much, Dr. Nicole, for sharing your times and your thoughts today. So we will continue to support you to the very end for your next tournament. So that's all from me, Yenny Lee. See ya on Hello On 2.
So that was Yenny alongside her, her interview with Dato' Nicole David for the Laureus Squash Visits. I'm sure this is a very nice experience for the kids, for everybody to actually have the presence of Dato' Nicole David herself.
Exactly. The reason why we're highlighting all sports is, of course, yesterday Laureus World Sports Awards, and Thursday itself is Sports Days after all for us at Hello On 2.
That's right.
So continuing on with this so-called tradition.
Yes.
Let's talk about ISN, learning life values through sport. And if you're wondering what's ISN, well, it's Institute Sukan